Cooler! I'm Tristan Linville, joined by my co-host, Michael Callahan. Manufacturing and technology will only be cooler with the guest we have in store for episode 14 today. Michael, how are you?
14? It's been a couple of weeks, Tristan. I got a joke for you.
Hit me.
And it goes really in line with taking a couple of weeks off. I used to work at a calendar factory, but I got fired after I took a couple of days off. Do you know anything about that?
That would probably do it. That'll do it.
How was your 7-week vacation?
Oh, it wasn't all vacation. There was a lot of work, some trade shows, some great people that I met.
Man.
But yes, there was vacation. There was a little Germany, little Sicily, Italy. It was fantastic.
Love it. Good for you, man. Well, we missed you on Water Cooler Talk, and by we, I mean me, and by me, I mean we didn't do anything. So, welcome to episode 14.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. We've got a very special guest today. We're going to talk about digital content and how that changes the buyers and the sellers experience to really help grow top line revenue. But I'm going to welcome to the stage the guy with the coolest side hustle I know. Andy Pollard! Hey, Andy, how are you, man?
What's up, guys? I am so excited to I can't believe it took 14 episodes for me to snake my way into this platform.
Hey, you're a busy guy. You're a busy guy.
I mean, sometimes it feels that way with 3 kids and a side hustle and a full-time job and everything like that, but it's awesome to be here with you guys today. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Andy, I get the pleasure of asking you the first question. Are you ready?
Ready.
What did the ghost say when he introduced his significant other to his parents?
I don't know.
This is my boo. But really,
we got a double feature on the dad jokes today.
Sometimes you go off script and you just have a little fun, right?
I love it.
Indeed.
Would you like my real first question?
I mean, I prefer that question, but give me the real question one.
Okay. I have another joke. Just kidding. Andy, the buying and selling experience has changed a lot over the last couple of years. Can you talk about your thoughts around the shift and how it relates to your specialty, video content?
Yeah. So, when I think about like digital content and how that works, I think about my own buying habits to begin with. If I'm doing research on like a major purchase, whether it's a car, a house, I mean, whatever, furniture, even now, the first thing I'm doing is my own research. I'm not gonna anymore. The first thing you do is not go talk to a sales guy. We're in the market for a new car, and I'll tell you what, the first thing I do is not gonna be go to the dealership and talk to a sales guy. So I'm doing tons of video research. I want to see videos of the car. I want to see interior of the car. I want to see all of these different things. So I think being able to provide that self-service on your own research in the form of digital content is so big right now, because that's how people want to buy. They don't want to spend all of their time talking to a sales guy or a salesperson. They don't want to feel like they're being sold constantly. They want to be able to, on their own time after hours, sit down in their safe space, we'll call it, and just do their own research on that. And that comes in the form of everything, whether it's watching digital content, watching webinars, watching all kinds of different things, depending on what your purchase is or what you're in the market for. And so in what we do, we see that all the time with the use of digital content platforms. People want to see the software. People want to see what they're being sold ahead of just actually sitting down with a salesperson to talk about it.
I think
go ahead. Can I interject? I got 2 things. One, if you are in the market for a new car, I've really been looking at the Kia Carnival, and man, if you want a minivan that doesn't look like a minivan.
I just saw that the other day, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
The Kia
Because
Carnival.
I like the other one, their third row. That's I can't think of what the name of it is now. The Telluride. I like the Telluride a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder
Have
if
you
we
seen
can
those
find a
reclining
video.
seats?
I wonder if we can find a video on that.
Yeah. I mean, we can. I've found it, and I've watched a lot of it because I want one. We're a one-car family. We're trying to grow our family, and Kia Carnival seems to be what I want to grow into. But that's not what I really wanted to interject with, or it is. Andy, I don't know that we said you have a cool side hustle, but like I don't think we properly introduced you. Andy, what's your job? Tell the world what you do.
So I manage a digital content platform at Infor, and I help our sellers utilize all of the digital content we have in store for them. But my side hustle, and it's been told to me a million times, is probably the coolest side hustle ever. I am a cinematographer for NFL films, which I am in the middle of season 16, I think. And so it used to be every weekend. Now on most weekends, you'll find me on the field of some NFL stadium, running up and down the field with a camera, trying to capture, the footage that NFL Films is known for, that super tight spiraling football that comes right in. That looks like it's going to come right through your TV. And then right as we widen the shot out, the receiver's hands come in and make the catch for the touchdown in the corner of the end zone. So that's my side hustle. But my background's been all video production and content creation.
Andy, I know we're going to probably hear some more later, but I have to know, what's your favorite blooper of being a videographer for NFL?
Like that I did, or like that I've been involved in, or
yeah. I mean, have you been run over by Travis Kelce or anything?
I have not been run over. I'm very careful about it. I will send you a photo that you can share that looks like I was run over, but I was not run over. What has almost happened to me, and you never think about it because you almost never see it on the sideline unless you're at the stadium, is the punters and the long snappers will line up not where the team is in the team box, and we don't generally go in the team box, but to the side of it. They're out there and they're snapping punts to each other. I can't tell you how many times, like I've been in one position and there's a long play and I need to get to the other end of the end zone. So I just get up, turn around and run. And I mean, there've been multiple times where I've almost taken a football to the temple from a long snapper practicing his snap back to the punter. Right. Luckily, it hasn't happened. I haven't been run over. There have been times where my biggest blooper probably has never been captured because I can think of times where it's like you shoot a play and then you go, oh, I somehow did not hit record. And so, I know I've missed a touchdown that way in the past, but the goal is to not mess up like that. Generally.
Can you do me a favor? Next time you see the punter and the long snapper practicing, I want you to get down in a 3-point stance and just give them something to think about.
Oh, right. Give that. Yeah. That long snapper, I know the long snapper with the Chiefs. We've talked several times. And so I'll
want you to
run next to him one time.
To block a punt.
Give him a little shoulder shove after he snaps it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll see what the security folks think about that, but he'd probably be all right with it.
Yeah.
Loving football.
Love it. I want to go back to something you said before Tristan started talking about his future minivan, which, touche, go for it. That's all I got to say. Go for it. But I think something, and this even applies to Tristan doing his research on his minivan. You want to do the research in your time. I think this is often overlooked, that we need to be sending people information so that they can do it in the privacy of their home or office or wherever they are when they can have a down moment and not be, sales reps are often calling 8 to 5 in the middle of chaos. How do we let them digest things on their time? And then hopefully they'll probably come with some more educated questions. And that's really when we want to start engaging.
And that's one of my favorite things about monitoring all of the stuff that our sellers are sending, because I can see all of the times that people have actually opened it. And I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of times you will see like the view time, like they might open at one time at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and the view time is like 15 seconds. Well, obviously they like open it like, oh, I'm going to sit down and watch this now, and then got called away with something more important. And then you'll go and you'll see their second view might be 100% of that video, and the view time is like 9:45 p.m. their time. And it's like, oh, obviously, you know, if they have kids, the kids are in bed. They've probably decompressed from the workday, and they're ready to focus on the stuff that they need to focus on from that. At Infor, we call it selling while you sleep, because it's awesome. It's like you're still like, I mean, you're in the sales process with that person by sending them that content. You're just, hopefully you're asleep while they're doing their research if it's at some crazy time.
Yeah. I think there's also another piece that, as you were talking, so I represent a configure price quote tool. And one of the goals and purposes of it is because as Tristan wants to look at a van, let him figure out what features and options he wants, again, in the privacy of his home, save configurations, and then put that in someone's hands so they know what Tristan's interested in. And then as Tristan comes into the store, we say, yeah, I'm interested. I configured this, and they can say, hey, you know what? Great. We've got all that information. Let's get you going, instead of having to then go through that whole process again.
Well, and another thing that you had mentioned earlier that's great with this kind of tool and utilizing digital content is buyers come to the next meeting more informed on what they're looking for. I can't tell you how many times that we hear our reps say, oh, you know, what's great about it is we didn't have to start at the basics. You know, it's not like the first question wasn't like, what do you do? The first question is like, we saw this, what more can you do? Yeah. And so coming in more informed provides a better experience for the buyer. It provides a better experience for the seller. And it probably provides a better journey in the long run for everyone involved.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking as you were talking, right, you're the bedtime watcher, or, you know, the work watcher, 15 seconds. You know, I know when I get up nowadays and I'm scrolling Instagram or something, you know, I'm watching these bite-sized chunks of content. And like, in the world that you're in and that we're in, selling enterprise technology, right? I mean, some of these videos to really describe what's going on here can be pretty robust if we want them to be. But what's the right kind of like time frame or time length of this content to make sure to like keep somebody's attention, but also not make it like too long where it's just way too much to consume, given the way that we consume content nowadays as people?
Yeah, so that's like the never-ending question that depends on a multitude of things. Number one, it depends on your audience. Number two, it depends on what you're trying to get them to do. And number three, depends on how interested are they going to be in that topic. What I always tell people all the time when we're talking about the length of content is the content has to be as long as the audience, the intended audience's interest is going to be. So like the content dictates the length. So if you're doing compelling content, or if what you're talking about is compelling to the viewer, it can be a little bit longer. But ideally, what I think this digital content in our industry, where it fits in best, is in that length of somewhere between, I would say, 60 seconds to maybe 2.5 minutes. You want to give them a taste. Oh, you don't have to go through the entire thing. They're not expecting to see you unless they say, I need to see the end-to-end process of whatever you're talking about. They don't want to see, you know, oh, no, I navigate my mouse here, and then I do this and click here, and then I have to wait for the screen to load because our software is laggy, or whatever the issue is. You know, all that stuff can be cut out, and you can just give them the better experience by hitting the highlights that they need to know. So that, like, right in that 60 second to 2.5 minutes is really where I think the bread and butter of it is. But I think what's really going to be interesting is the people, and I'm trying to figure out all the time, the people that can can break down those videos into like that TikTok level length are the ones that are going to excel things so much faster, because as the C-suite gets younger, as we move forward, like the C-suite is going to get younger, or they may not get younger in age, but they're going to be more millennial to Gen Z to Gen A. They're going to be used to consuming that short content. Nobody's going to want to sit and watch. I mean, there's going to be a day where nobody is going to sit for a 45-minute webinar because nobody will have that attention span. Our attention span is so insanely short right now because that's the kind of content we're constantly fed.
Yeah. What'd you just say?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I talked too long there. Nobody even knows what I said. 100%.
No, I love what you just said. I also think it's important to think about when you're sending content, like within a sales cycle, right? Because when I was evaluating software, when I was in my previous job, people would send us emails or they'd send us videos, to be honest. And I would only look at something when two things. I felt like it resonated, right?
Sure.
So it's like, okay, yeah, what you just said, that's my problem. Let me see what your solution is. So that was one. And two, if they did something fun or they connected with me in a way that I appreciated. I could not stand when people would just send you a generic email. I'm like, you know what? You know how fast I can click this delete button? Really quick.
The thing that drives me nuts as well with that is like when you hit unsubscribe and then they respond to your unsubscribe with, well, do you know who else I should reach out to in your organization? And I usually respond to that because a lot of times I don't know anyways. But if I certainly don't know, my answer is always, this is not the definition of unsubscribe. Unsubscribe does not mean please send me another email. But no, you're 100% right on where it depends on when in the sales cycle you are. But what we've also learned is sending cold video almost doesn't ever work. Like if you really want someone to watch your video, you have to build some kind of rapport, whether that's talking to them on the phone or whether that's a favorable response to an email. If you're not getting that, what is going to make that person want to click on your video unless you're doing something completely out of the box? Which I agree with you. If I see an email and it's got some complete, like if the thumbnail is something completely out of the box, I'm like, oh, I'm interested in that. And then I just hope it's not like one of those, what our IT team like testing us for phishing.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I will say at my previous job, I was terrible at that. I don't know why. Terrible at it.
Everybody send Andy your test emails.
At Infor, 100% pass rate on all of my IT emails.
Better knock on some wood there.
I know, right? Knock, knock.
He's a new man. New man. So I'm going to combine these next two questions just for sake of time. And really it's around what you think is coming next for these buyers' experience, right? I mean, what tools do you see that are out there that sellers should be using and leveraging to make sure that this buyer experience is awesome? And then where's this thing going,
Yeah. So, AI is the buzzword of everything right now. And so AI is only doing favors for us right now in the content production area for what we're making, because we work with a lot of people that aren't experienced content creators. So AI helps us in voiceover. It helps us in editing some stuff. Gosh, there's programs where you can just say, make me a product or make me a product explainer video about this product. And it'll basically put a really darn good video together for you. Mm-hmm. So I think AI is going to help in content production. But then when you think about what the viewer is going to be seeing, I think there's so much coming in AR, VR. I mean, we see augmented reality all the time now. I was at IKEA the other day, and it was like we were looking at a couch, and it was like, scan this QR code and put it in your home. Like, so or you're looking at it on your app, and it's like if you're standing in your living room, you can shine it at your house, and it shows you what it would look like to have your couch in there. So I can see a lot of things where it's like we're virtually walking through different areas. We're walking through a warehouse. We're walking through a hospital. We're walking through a manufacturing plant in a VR headset. And, you look to the side and there's like a hotspot that's telling you, at this point, here's a short demo of what our software does here. Here's a short point of what our software does here. You see that now in some of those instructional things where people will be working on a piece of equipment and they're like, oh, I need to double check the instructions. They throw on a headset and it's like they look at the right thing and then it just pops off to the side. It's like, step 1 is like unscrew this screw. Step 2 is, and it's like, it's only going to get more interesting from an AR and VR perspective. When you think about software, I think where it's going is someone that can create a sandbox environment that does a couple of things. And the first one is easy to update and easy to provide for anybody. There's companies out there right now that, they say they'll clone your data and they'll clone your, like the back end of your software to deliver POCs and sandbox environments. I think the problem with the sandbox is you're doing yourself a disservice in some spots because there's the ability for someone to get lost or click on the wrong button. So you might be selling your software great in one aspect, but you're certainly giving them the ability to not want to buy your software based on that experience. So guided tours, I think, help with that as well. So it's going to be who can take the guided tour, make it replicable easily, and provide that same kind of software or sandbox experience without the ability to get someone lost. So the person can learn exactly what they want to do without clicking somewhere and going, I don't even know what I did now. So I'm just going to give up.
That's awesome.
I like it. It's a good answer.
It's a great answer. It's so good.
That's my final answer.
Bam.
This is where it would be great if you would plug in that clip from Billy Madison where the guy goes, what you said is the dumbest thing we've ever heard. And may God award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
We need to work on our tools. We need to be able to plug in some of that.
Right? You need like a drop board where like somebody says something, it could be like, bing.
Yeah. We need laughter. All we've got is screaming kids and banging noises. But
yeah, my kid's probably about to wake up. Gotta love that. Nap time. Well, with the big ending of the day, we can't leave without you telling us a little bit about your side hustle, the coolest side hustle. So what's the most awesome thing that you've ever captured behind the camera?
Okay, so that's such a hard question because I get to experience a lot of cool things, which is awesome. Yeah. I've been to some Super Bowls. The Super Bowl is awesome. I will never say anything bad about the Super Bowl, but what people don't get, because a lot of people don't get to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm super grateful that I have.
Very true. Very true.
But if you have to choose at some point between going to a championship game or the Super Bowl, I would pick the championship game 100 times over. Yeah, because it's in a home stadium. And if it's in your home stadium, like the atmosphere is insane. And a home playoff game is so much better. So for me, the best experience and the most fun I've ever had is the Chiefs 13-second game, which was the divisional round. Wasn't even the championship game, the divisional round against the Buffalo Bills. That game went back and forth and back and forth. The Bills scored with 13 seconds left. And the craziest thing is I've been in so many games where like someone will score at the end and the air just comes right out of the stadium. And it's like, oh man, this is over. There were 13 seconds left on the clock. And you could, like, the feeling was like, and even as someone who, I mean, I'm a quasi Chiefs fan. Like I'm a Chiefs fan by location. And so I root for them when they're not playing my team, the Cincinnati Bengals. But in that game, like, I mean, I love Patrick Mahomes. I love what he's doing. I love watching him. When there were 13 seconds left on the clock, I think everybody in that stadium was like, well, we have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, like, we have a chance for sure. They made that first play that was like, you know, I mean, it was like a 40-yard pass to Tyreek Hill right down the middle of the field. And then everybody was like, dude, you need 10 yards, and Harrison Butker is going to kick a field goal, send it to overtime. And that's what happened. And then they won. So that was by far like the greatest game and experience I've ever been into. I mean, I have some shots that are like, exactly what you want in my role is that super tight spiraling football coming right in your lap. I've got a bunch of things that aren't, that look like that, but then it gets knocked away, or they don't use, or it's an incomplete pass. But I mean, it's just so cool. Like when you're, the Chiefs' first game, the game ended on the rate of this season. The Ravens guy caught the ball in the end zone, and everybody thought it was a touchdown for the Ravens to win. And
white line.
His foot's on the back of the line. And then I go back and I look at my shot, and I can see, at my angle, the way I captured it, I can see his foot's on the line. So I'm like, 100%, I know that's going to be used, and I know it's going to get a lot of eyes on it. And so it's like, today, I did my job the way it was, the way it's supposed to be done. So that's what's really the coolest stuff, is when no matter what the play is, you nail it, and you know that, you probably couldn't have done any better than you just did.
So I think Andy just summarized it perfectly. If you want to attract someone's attention, 13 seconds. That's all you need.
I mean, yeah. If you don't attract their attention in 10 seconds, they're turning it off. 100%.
Yeah, unless Patrick Mahomes is at the
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I might have to try and commandeer a little video snippet for our viewers, if possible. I don't know who
I'll send you
else
some
does.
stuff.
Yes, but
do if you want, Tristan.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You got some backyard football, like.
I would be better if you guys would recreate it. Like, I wish you guys could, like, Michael, go out with your kids and recreate that play.
I got some ideas here.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, Andy, thanks for coming on, man. As always, everybody, drink your H2O. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see. Oh, it's almost Halloween. Have fun with the kids.
Trick or treat.
Yep. Bye.